Matt Shakman is the director of the Fantastic Four First Steps. And he's been doing the interview circuit. And we've got some clips to show before we get into our review. Like you to see. And I think he had a decent take on the approach. And that is practical, including the Excelsior, the name of the ship the Fantastic Four take into outer space, into the outer regions. Here he is talking about that. Let's give a listen here. It's a short clip.
I'm a huge fan of Stanley Kubrick, who isn't. 2001, one of the most beautiful, amazing movies ever made, and also takes place so much in space, which our movie does as well. So we did talk about, what is the intersection between Kirby and Kubrick? Jack Kirby being the creator of the Fantastic Four, one of the two with Stan Lee, but the artist who drew them. And so where does the Kirby style intersect with the Kubrick style? And that was our sort of guiding light in figuring out what we wanted this world to look like. But we also wanted it to feel like it was made in the 60s to a degree. I mean, obviously we used a lot of modern technology. We'd be silly not to, but we built miniatures. We built a giant Galactus outfit. We built huge practical sets. We built practical Herbie, practical Fantasticar. We did everything that we could to ground it in a reality. We used vintage lenses. We tried to approach things optically. The Sue Storm powers is an optical effect that you could have done in the 60s, and that we use video projectors and things like that to create. So it was trying to find a way to ground it in an authenticity, but at the same time, what's great about Kubrick in when he made 2001 is he was dreaming of a future, right? So it had that.
Yeah, so that's a good short clip that gives his philosophy. I will say that when we get into the review, the look of the film, I think everyone agreed, is amazing. The sort of future Tomorrowland 60s optimistic vision, like that worked.
Sci-fi Mad Men, basically.
Sci-fi Mad Men, yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I think it's the best special effects in a Marvel movie we've seen in a while. At least from maybe you don't 100% agree.
No,
look, they had a vision. It's different, and for me, it worked.
69.
So here we go. A lot of other clips here. This is Matt Shakman on his vision, his version of the Fantastic Four. So we've seen how many Fantastic Fours? 1994. You've got the two Rise of Silver Surfer. Is that the one? And the one before it. Then you have the Miles Teller version. So is that 4? 5. Well, there've been 3, so this is the 4th.
Well, Roger Corman.
And the Roger Corman, the cast from that does a cameo. They're reporters in like a scene, sort of they're just there.
They're in a montage. Great. They're reporters, yeah.
Yeah, they were on the blue carpet at the premiere. That was a cool thing. Full circle. I'm sure there's got to be a way for them to legally release it. I do have a Blu-ray of it, and you can watch the documentary Doomed on Amazon. Here's Matt Shakman on his version of this is the 4th incarnation of the Fantastic.
It's the 5th. It's the 5th.
Well, the incarnation, not movie, not the 4th movie, but incarnation.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
So here we go.
Now, the Fantastic Four have historically had a difficult time, in live action. And I want to know, what do you think previous adaptations struggled with that and what was most important for you to sort of capture to separate yourself and make yourself different?
Well, I was thinking mostly about the comic books. I was thinking less about the live action adaptations. There are many people huge fans of those and feel very fondly about them and never want to say anything about them negatively. I enjoyed them when they came out, watching them. it's just that I personally am a big comic book fan, a big fan of Kirby and Lee. And when I was thinking about how to build this movie, I was looking back at that first initial run. This was a bold experiment to center a superhero team around a real family. And they succeeded because they're relatable. They're like us. So I was thinking, how do I take from the comics what I love so much, but also bring my own personal experience to it? Like, I'm a husband, I'm a father. The most fantastic thing that's ever happened to me is my baby being born, and this is about a journey into the fantastic. And it's about meeting Galactus and going into space, but it's also that journey into the unknown of raising a small child. And those are both equally fantastic.
I love that so much. And
I mean, look, he's a fan of the comics. It does show. It does show, especially in the sort of cosmic Kirby inspired visuals. And I've got a picture here of the cast of the original Fantastic Four. This is the cast of the 1994 Fantastic Four, from that movie. And I was there. I'll show you a pic, Alan. I was there for 2 weeks. I was on the set, and I talk about this in a video that we're going to post on our members only. This is me with the cast of the 94 fan. I was such a huge fan. I just hung out. I interviewed everyone from the wardrobe people, the effects guys from Optic Nerve who built that amazing Thing costume. I was so pumped. It was the first time I'd been on other film sets before, but this was a movie that, based on a comic that freaking changed my life. So to be on the set and experience that was amazing. But
if you haven't seen Doomed, the documentary about the Roger Corman Fantastic Four, you're in it quite a bit.
Yeah, well, I look like a little kid. Now that I see this picture, I look like a little kid. But here is the cast of the Fantastic Four from the blue carpet. Here they are then, here they are now. Yeah. I think that's great. Full circle. That's really awesome. And they got to be in the movie.
Yeah. I think the funny thing I learned, you said you were on set for 2 weeks. It was a 3-week shoot.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't. I know.
I'm just saying that 3 weeks. I mean, that's a Roger Corman. It's probably long for Roger Corman, but it is a Fantastic Four movie.
One of the things I remember that was weird is that he was cheap. Yeah. And I heard a rumor, not confirmed, a rumor that someone got fired from the movie for buying branded soda.
No.
So like he would get no brand soda, which was like the grocery store brand of
he got RC Cola. He wanted
like RC Cola or 6-Up. And someone was fired because they bought the more expensive branded cola, not the no brand cola. I don't know if that's a thing anymore, but that's pretty funny. So, hey, did you know the post-credit scene was directed by the Russo brothers?
Really?
Yes.
They flew in the Russo brothers to film.
Well, the Russo brothers were on the set, I guess, quite a bit because Pedro and the Fantastic Four are a huge part in Avengers Doomsday.
Yes.
So they didn't really know these characters, and apparently they were on the set a lot.
I think my point is, after watching the post-credit scene, I could have directed.
Well, there's not much to it, but let's take a look. Here's Matt Shakman talking about that. Let's go.
Now, without spoiling anything, the first post-credit scene is going to have people talking, for sure. I know the Russos directed the post-credit scene in Thunderbolt, so I want to know, did they step in here, or was this all you?
They did.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, this was done during production of Avengers Doomsday.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Well, it's a great post-credit scene. I'm excited for people to see it. When you direct an ensemble like this, and knowing that the Russos are going to be utilizing these characters moving forward in Doomsday, considering that you were so instrumental in developing these characters in this film, is it difficult for you to sort of let go of them and sort of give the reins off to another set of directors?
Not at all. I mean, especially when I'm handing them off to the Russo brothers, who are amazing at what they do, and they're lovely, generous people. And they were, very involved. As we were making this film, they wanted to visit our sets and watch scenes as they were coming together, and to get to know these characters so they could treat them, treat them well, do right by them in the next movie. So they're really good protectors of these characters as well. But I often think of working at Marvel as like running a relay race, and so you pass that baton, you run as hard and fast as you can with it for that section of the race that belongs to you, and then you pass that baton. I passed it on to Joe and Anthony, and they're off and running, and that's great. And in the same with Wanda, like they had introduced, other people had introduced, Joss Whedon had introduced Wanda, and Vision was introduced earlier, so I was just picking up the baton and running with them.
It's almost like comic books in that way.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Well, there you go. Gives you a little taste of the philosophy. There are other creators. So I like that. He's right. It is from the comics. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby did the first 100 issues of FF, and there were other incarnations, the John Byrne and others. And I do like that. I like that when other creators give a different take, they kind of add new things to the lore, add new characters. It's like an ongoing creative process where people are building blocks onto the legacy of these characters.